Welcome back to y'all's favorite video, the Monday slash kind of Tuesday when you watch this, but it's really still Monday updating video since I'm recording this on Mondays. I don't know what to say about crypto right now. Bad feeling in my stomach. It could be the gumbo I just ate or crypto. Before we go any further, the usual, please just take 1 second, look down and hit that thumbs up button, give the video a like, so we can help support these projects that we're going to talk about shortly. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you join my Discord, links below, and you can get in and find out about new projects and different things that you might want to try out, or what we're finding out with our projects and stuff like that. So, hey, look, I keep thinking I'm gonna look at crypto each day and I'm gonna start seeing that surge up. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes when I think I see a surge up, I get psyched out, like crypto saying, psych, haha, you fell for it again, and keeps on going down. It's wild times we're living in. Wild times. That's all I can say. Maddening, as he said in Harry Potter. Um, we've had some rate reductions that have been announced. Things that should be positive. I keep also going back to, like, you look at stocks right now. My buddies at work are swimming in it right now because of how great their stocks are doing. I do hold some stocks through pensions and different things like that, deferred comp at work. So I do have some exposure to that game, but I don't have my fingers in it. Like, I'm not dealing with it. I got the deferred comp people or the, the retirement people that they deal with that kind of stuff. And, we tell them, do we want it to be in more conservative stuff or be more careful, a little more aggressive stuff? And depending, I hate to say it, I hate to make these videos political, but it is what it is. When Trump was in office last time, we were in more aggressive stuff and we did very well. The people who didn't do anything, who left there as anything kind of neutral, they didn't make as much. Biden takes office, we had to back that down. We had to get very conservative, still lost. And then now we're back into moving into some more aggressive stuff. The reason I say all that is because right now with crypto, it's going the opposite direction. And that's why I don't really think it's the market or the economy or tariffs or other things like people trying to say, because that would be also affecting stocks. I think part of it is institutional traders, your big whales, even some of the CEXs, they're controlling this market right now. If they want to make money, whether it's going to be manipulating longs, liquidating shorts, they're going to change this crypto market enough, dropping that Bitcoin price, raising it, where it liquidates some of these holdings, liquidates these trades. And you keep hearing all the time about millions and billions of dollars worth of these trades that are getting liquidated. And I'm like, how are people not using stop losses? How is this still happening? And it's just being manipulated. Grumpy's rule number 11. People want crypto to be decentralized until decentralized stuff happens. So that's one thing we're dealing with right now. Another thing is the fact that, you had some people who argued about this. Maybe it was the end of 2016, 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, where crypto was starting to expand. Some people didn't like that. Some people wanted to stay with individuals like us, individuals who knew what crypto was made about, why it was made, and different things like that, and wanted to stay at that level. But no, a lot of people wanted it, that knew that if crypto was ever going to take that next step for adoption, it had to be brought into retail and had to be brought into these bigger institutional, like, investors and stuff like that. But the problem is when you want that, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So now that they're ready to get rid of it, and some people are dropping it, it affects us and it hurts. I had somebody tell me earlier that, when I was talking to him about it, that 3/4 of the volume on crypto right now is through institutional, it's different institutions. So what do you do from here? What does it mean? I don't know. Because it seems like no matter what we try to call, the opposite happens. And I keep saying when we think crypto is going to zig, it's going to zag. Grumpy rule number 12. This market knows when we start to expect certain things. There's been times when they've announced rate coin drops. The rates drop and Bitcoin does the opposite. That's manipulation. This is not good. We came up here, we hit the support line. This resistance line, and you kept hitting it. You kept hitting. You knew something was going to happen at some point, and it rejected off this line. You got another kind of line right here for them, and you can see it. It's hitting. That's the 4-hour chart. 2-hour charts kind of has the same line right here. Like I don't know what to make of all this. I don't know. Don't know. This is not good. I know. I should be doing videos telling everybody like all the other YouTubers, like, don't worry, boys and girls, the bull cycle is right around the corner. Oh, I saw this hidden in the charts, and because I saw this hidden in the charts, we're about to start alt season. Get ready, buy those tokens, guys. No, you're not hearing that from me. I'm telling you, until this manipulation stops, strap in, because we're going for a ride. And unfortunately, it's not a Disney World ride. It's I haven't been watching the videos. I'll be honest with y'all, because know me. I'm not the TA expert. I just call it like I see it. And what I don't know what the next. I remember watching somebody. I say last week before that said if we broke below this 87,000 mark, we're going into the high 70s. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna be us going from 126,000 in October to 70,000, 70 something thousand now. I don't know. You got kind of this line right here. Y'all know I like to draw lines to see if things match up. And it's crazy how you can draw a point here back in November. Hit these two lines right here. I'm sorry, this was November of last year. Then you got these two lines right here down April 9th, and now you're hitting here and bouncing off of it. So there's all kinds of different ways. But I just think it's crazy how that can line up. Boys and girls, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's cool to draw lines and see what hits and don't hit. I don't know. I just know that alts are hurting bad. A lot of us invested in alts instead of Bitcoin because of where Bitcoin was. Then I was saying, well, maybe we should just invest in Bitcoin. But you look at what Bitcoin is doing right now. Maybe it's need to go invest in stocks. The only thing I do know is y'all see these dotted lines. I drew these in there about a month ago and said, if these get to these lines, it's time to start buying. And I'm talking to myself in the mirror. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to go buy. I'm just telling you, sometimes when you gradually go lower and lower and lower, you forget where you were because you're gradually going lower and lower. So what I did is, a month ago when we started doing this fall right here, I'm like, what would be a good buying in point? So here's like Adam, $2. This was at 40 something dollars before. Now the next question is to believe in these lines is, do you believe there's that this will ever see all-time high again? At one time I would say yes. Now, not so much. Here's Lunk. We talked about Lunk, Luna Classic, and how much this all of a sudden jumped up. And I will say, Happy Caddy Crypto, guy who knows a lot about Luna Classic, he told everybody, do not get excited about this candle. Because whenever in the past that Luna Classic has this kind of candle, you need to pump the brakes, homeboy, and just hold on because you're going right back down. And what did this do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles in a row. It dropped back, and then if you kind of draw this line that comes down here, you're you're right back where you started, if not worse. So I don't know if people found out about this and then started taking profits, but that's Luna Classic. Solana down $125. I don't know what to tell you. You know, my magic line's at 100. God, I hope Solana does not get back down to 100. Crow is another one. I've had to tap into my Crow just because of some things going on. I wish I wouldn't have, because this is what the price is now at 9 cents. This is painful. Vet. I told y'all, if Vet goes below a penny, I don't care where I'm finding the money. I don't care what tokens I'm moving over. I am buying more Vet. Grumpy is buying more Vet. I'm not telling anybody else to buy anything. But below a penny, when this was at 3, 4, 5 cents not that long ago, and has gone, higher than that. Where are we at right here? You were at 3 cents back in August, 3.5 cents back in May. Beginning of the year, you were at 5 cents. And last November, a year ago, you were at 8 cents. So hell, you put in for a penny, you might 8x your money. Who knows? Or you might just keep falling. That's the whole fun of this stuff. You got Ethereum, 2,900. Cardano is at 38 cents. I don't know where I would buy from that at. Is AVAX, that's $12. Grumpy's Lounge at 10. But again, I don't know. I don't have the capital to buy all this stuff. It's Christmas time. There's a lot of different things going on right now. WIF is another one, 38 cents, 36 cents. XRP, $1.86. This is crazy. Told everybody to be careful with XRP. Don't believe all this $10 stuff. Look, I did tell people that if you really believe this was going to $10 one day or $100 one day, at least wait for it to fall under $3. I thought I was playing it safe just to try to calm some of y'all down, that I didn't really believe in this $100 thing. I'm still seeing these videos pop up. The queen of clickbait still saying how XRP made this new deal and XRP is doing this, and this is what it's going to take, and we back on track. And no, you're not. Now, again, I'm not just picking on XRP because they're all doing it. I pick on XRP because you had this whole XRP army out there saying this is still going to $5 soon, then $10, then $100. No, guys, it's not. You're in the same boat we're in right now, riding on the same roller coaster that's broken and only going down right now. So be prepared. Who knows? We could hit Christmas all-time highs again. I don't think we will, but we know how what I just explained way too long, because I don't have as much time to go over all these projects, but I took way too long just to explain this one thing. Just when we think we have this market figured out, these big salespeople, these CEXs are going to whack us. They're going to whack us. Y'all keep shorting this because y'all keep shorting Bitcoin because y'all think it's going down to 73,000 or something like that. As soon as enough of y'all start shorting it, we'll go back to 90. We've seen it happen countless times. All right, let's start going over some of these projects. They're all down. Hopefully, we know some of them have very good fundamentals, so we don't have to sweat too hard on some of this stuff. But going through some of these prices just now, updating my sheet, I think we got some, The big question is right now with crypto, the big in our DePin projects, the big question is that I'm gonna lead off with is, what do you do? There's some projects that I have several $100s in. I had several $100s in it not too long ago. So at this point, do you start selling that out? I'm talking about like Natix, Sorchain, Silencio, DIMO. Do you start selling out those tokens now? Lick your wounds, take that couple of $100 total between them all, and go buy some Vet, go buy some Bitcoin. Is that what you do with it? Because part of me is like, I missed out on it. So why am I cashing it out for $75? It was worth several hundreds not too long ago. Then you got the little devil on this side saying, but it ain't going back up to that. This project is toast. It ain't going back to that. You might as well take your $75 out of it now, or your 67 cents. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, I sit at my desk and I contemplate all the time. Just when I think I finally made up my mind on which one I want to do what on, I just reverse course again. Natix, on my live, I do a live every Tuesday and Thursdays. If y'all saw that on Natix, I checked it one day live and I had $900 worth of Natix. If I check it now, I have $100-something worth of Natix. And that wasn't that long ago. So what do? Load up on Solana? Do you even mess with altcoins after? We didn't even have an alt season. We all made fun of, and I talk about the man all the time, and people want to make fun of him, and people say he got hit too hard in the head boxing, and we all laughed at Tech Hustler. And that's my boy. And I tell you all the time, I owe him a lot because he showed me a couple of things and helped me out a lot building this channel. But you had to laugh at some of his videos. We all did. If you say you didn't, you lie, because we were all in our live, said anything. And he got in our live and said, we'll see. And guess what? We can laugh all we want. The man was right. The man was right. He said, y'all missed alt season. You had certain tokens that went up, and that was it. And it's done. We passed it up. And he said, DePin's over with. DePin is failing. And for majority, not all of them, majority of these projects that we're about to talk about, he's right. You going to invest in Sword Chain right now? You're going to invest in DIMO? You know, I don't know. Maybe one day when I have time to figure it out, I don't know which projects are the worst down right now. DIMO, God bless him. You know, it's probably one of the greatest, if that's not a good thing, like the biggest down price drop almost of all of our tokens, all of our projects we talk about. 94% down from 24 cents to a penny in 12 months. All-time high, you're down 99%. You were at $1.84, we're down to a penny. Now, this looks kind of artificial, so, you know, we'll still say, 2 cents, and then you came up to 50 cents, 55 cents, 55 cents, you down, whatever. You invested into this? Y'all know I like referring to this fear and greed index. They say when fear is at this level, you're supposed to be buying. Are you comfortable buying right now? It was down to 15 in November when we had that crash. It was down to, was it 27, 15 in April, 24. But this is fear and greed index. That's bad. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. The good thing about me is with all the stuff I have going on in real life right now, son in college, daughter got stuff going on. She always needs something for graduation, high school, pictures. There's always something. There's always something coming through my house that needs something. Still got bills I need to take care of. If y'all follow enough my videos, you know what I'm talking about. So positive thing is, because I'm spending all my money on that, I don't have to worry about am I going to spend more money on crypto right now. It does suck because, we kind of had this little friendly argument in Discord the other day. Someone's like, well, people getting upset at this certain token, and I won't mention what it is right now. We're going to talk about it later. But, if people just buy the dip, I'm like, dude, we can't buy the dip no more. We bought the dip. It was here and it dipped and we bought, and then it went here and we bought. You can't get upset because nobody's got money left down here. Or we find it somewhere. Apparently you don't have kids. You don't have family responsibilities. My plan is if vet falls into the penny, I'm probably moving some Helium. Helium got its ass whipped too. I was hoping it would hold at least $2 when I sold to go to and put it into vet. No, it took a crash the last day or two. I don't know what happened to it. So I don't know. I don't know what my game plan is gonna be from here. But let's go over these projects before I'm here till another 3 hours. Don't forget, I am testing out these Gardepro cameras. If y'all need trail cameras, for those who don't know, who don't follow me in Discord, I was finally successful on a hunting trip yesterday, and I killed a 8-point buck. And trail camera told me it was coming out at a certain time, right after nighttime, or what they gonna call it, dusk. And I kind of patted them off the trail cameras, and it got stupidly cold yesterday. It was like 70 the day before that. It was down to like the high 20s, low 30s yesterday. So like maybe he comes out a tad early. Maybe he comes out just a tad early to eat. His stomach's gonna get him in trouble, like my stomach always gets me in trouble. And maybe I can drop the hammer on him. And sure enough, right when there was barely enough light left, drop that hammer on him. Yeah, and if it wasn't for me using trail cameras, I would have had no idea that 8-point was there. Is it? Is what it is. All right, let's get started on this. EarnApp took another withdrawal on EarnApp. Again, I might be up to like 17 or 18 devices now on this. I'm guessing something like that, and took another $150 out. This is by far, EarnApp is by far my number one project, at least for me. But again, I have a lot of devices on it, So it is kind of unfair for y'all. But I've been putting it number one just because it's number one in my heart right now. Because I have gotten well over $1,000 since June running EarnApp. So I keep it up on top because it's been successful. I've made more than that than any other project. Number one for the day is Geodnet. And Geodnet, we're still making about $1.55 per day. And for the third week in a row, they are in first place. They are at 13 cents right now, so they're down about 10% since last week, which that was at 1.5 cents. So guess what? It really ain't that bad. So we're gonna say that Geonet is kind of holding the line right now. They're only down 13 cents for the month, which I think is very well compared to what some of these other projects are doing right now. So that's a good thing for Geonet. Only announcement they really had is they keep talking about this Toker Run app that they got going on. They got the official guide out. If y'all interested in that, I don't really know much about it. I keep saying I wanted to look into it. I just don't have the time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Some of the secret phone, best possible experience. They introduced an email and small enhancement month of December. Also, due to high volume of automated and inauthentic activity detected in Tokeron and Discord programs, they have decided to temporarily pause the X and Discord follow programs to ensure fairness for genuine community members. Users with pending rewards, rest assured, straight back in. We're working on a new social program. Thank you for your patience. So if y'all messing with that, just be aware that some of it's paused. Yeah. All right, moving on to number 2 is going to be Chirp. Chirp is down to about $1.30 a day. I remember when this was making $4 and $5. I missed those days because I went the other day to sip a little bit of profits from Chirp because I needed a little bit of money for something. And I said, I haven't touched Chirp yet. Been mining it for a while. One time I had a pretty good wallet of money. And then when I realized the price dropped, I'm like, damn. This price was at 19 cents. And it's at 17.8 right now. For the week, it's only dropped 5%. That's not bad. But it has dropped 42%, 43% in a month. It was at 3 cents. It's now down to a penny and a half. And that hurts. That hurts a lot. Down 99%, but I still think this is not exactly correct. But even this was at 6 cents, up to 15 cents at one point. So for those of y'all still playing the KAGE game, on the 8th, which was last Tuesday, I think, they announced that round 7 was finally done. If you remember, they extended it. So they're taking the snapshots and get ready for round 8 and collect some more beacons. They say that beacons are supposed to be everywhere that you put your city in when you joined or when you got any of those perks or whatever it is. And I still have yet to see one where what the city I put in. You can read about the IoT network. More than 80,000 chirp were discovered in beacons during round 7. Players also allocated a huge amount of data chips. Leaderboards on their way. I want to see what the leaderboard is. Some about EDL sensor. Premium unlocks up to 4x4 rewards. We all know about that. Important note for the chirp community: every epoch, new chirp tokens are minted and distributed across several pools defined in their tokenomics. One of these pools is to allocate to early supporters of the network. This pool is approaching its final phase. The last reward distribution is scheduled for quarter 126. Once it ends, emissions from the pool will stop, which naturally reduces ongoing sell pressure come from early allocation. You think so? At the same time, the token economy is built around real usage. A significant part of emissions goes to network keepers to provide coverage and keep the network running. Other allocations support ecosystem growth, active users, long-term development. There's also important sustainability mechanisms at work. Tokens used to pay for network access are locked and temporarily moved from circulation. Over time, this reduces the effective supply and strengthens the long term. Why is it only temporarily removed? So they're not burning. That's not good. If you want to understand how emissions are structured, how different pools work, you can go there and read it. So I don't know how much I was getting for being a early person. I can tell you right now that if I only get paid for real term usage, that's gonna suck. But I'll still say the same thing like a broken record every time, and I beat the dead horse saying they don't have hardly any stations out. So as an IoT network, how can you think customers are going to depend on that? But we'll see. That's enough on Chirp. Moving on is going to be number 3 is going to be Onocoy. Onocoy has also had some price drop, and they're down about 2.2 cents, or 2 cents, not 22, 2 cents. That means if you are getting 2 cents, if you are getting the 31 Ono per day, that means you're making about 70 cents a day. It still is not on CoinMarketCap, which I don't understand. Only announcement they had was that earthquake detection on Onocoy ? Interesting new use case has emerged from Onocoy, which is earthquake detection. Thanks to extreme precision and stability of the GNS antennas, the network was able to detect micro vibrations during the most recent seismic activities, Turkey and Bangladesh. So I guess we're gonna start hearing more about that. I did recently read also Onocoy has some kind of new partner that they're dealing with also, business wise, different project or something to that effect, which is also a positive thing also. But token did come down a little bit, took a little bit of a hit, but Onocoy is still plugging along. I'm glad to see they got some partnerships. I'm glad to see they got some customers. Some people didn't think they'd have a chance against Geodnet, and it appears they're doing pretty well. So hopefully they keep that going on. All right, so ROVR, again, I tell y'all this every week. I know I keep repeating myself, but for those people who are new, I don't know exactly what I'm making with ROVR because it's all kind of blended in. I know my way to work is the same route I take basically every day, so I'm probably not getting full credit for that. I also drove out of state twice in the past week, so I put a few kilometers on my vehicle since I last updated it. I'm averaging, I guess, if you average it per day, about 65 cents a day. That's me just kind of guesstimating, figuring what the normal mileage would be. But because if you drive more than I do, or if I drive more, I drive 20 minutes to work and a little bit around town. Weekends I might go somewhere like I did this time, but If you only drive back and forth to work and it's 5 miles, you're going to get much less than 65 cents a day. If you drive an hour to work and back, you're going to get more than 65 cents a day. So it's basically, it's kind of how you run. On a positive note, ROVR has basically stayed the same in the last week, which is a good thing. Now, it did come up a little bit. It was at 0.0085, came up to 0.0088. It's not that much of an increase, and came back down. Again, this was over the week. But hey, you know, kind of one of the better price actions of the projects we went over so far. Okay, one very big announcement from ROVR, something that we've all been talking about, is they were starting staking. And staking officially goes live yesterday on the 14th. Important milestone. Staking ROVR more than earning nodes. By staking ROVR, contributors are unlock access to ROVR devices via staking, which is what we discussed, what we like, and you commit to long-term participation, whatever. Let's get to the part we're talking about. So the official guide, we talked about that if you wanted to get, say, a light cone and you didn't want to pay for it out of pocket and be stuck with it or anything like that. Now, this price tag is going up a little bit, I believe, since what we last talked about, but you'll be able to do a required stake of either 18,000 for Tarantula or 300,000 ROVR for a light cone. What is 300,000? 300,000 is, when you come and look at the ROVR token, that is $2,552. So yeah, so you have to stake basically $2,500, $2,552 of staking to get your light cone. And if this goes through like the originally discussed, and what happens is you'll receive a discount code. You can follow all the instructions. I don't want to go for step by step. And the first batch of staking devices will go out by January 15th. That's pretty good. The minimum you can do is, apparently, staking lock period is 1 year. Tokens can be unlocked for 1 year as long as you return that device. This is kind of like what we talked about before that they were thinking about. Early returns will incur a partial token deduction for every month the stake is withdrawn early. So if you do it 11 months, 1/12 for that staking amount will come back. The stake amount will be deducted, which is your staked amount is what you deducted. That was the 25,000, whatever it was, tokens. Device is inactive for a month, 1/12 of the stake tokens will be deducted. So somebody asked, or the frequently asked question is, do you get any kind of rewards for what you have staked? No, you don't. Your reward is that you got this freaking device worth whatever it's worth, that light cone, basically for free. And you are getting for free. And I want to take a second because we discussed this, but I like the ROVR project. I ain't gonna sit in lie to y'all and tell you if I had $2,500 tokens, I'd go for it, because I don't know what kind of what vehicle I'd put it on. But let's just say for kicks and giggles, not financial advice, but for kicks and giggles, I had a vehicle that I could easily put this device on, and I could muster up my $2,500 worth of tokens or whatever. Yeah, that's what it was worth. 2,500,000 worth of tokens. 300,000 tokens. Would Grumpy do this? I would, with no hesitation. People are making some damn good rewards. Come in my lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's a guy who's doing the light cone, driving with it, and he's making damn good rewards. If I'm making about 65 cents a day, not financial advice, but if I figured it out right, using those same numbers of me getting 65 cents a day, I'd be getting almost $11 per day. But again, you don't even have to worry about an ROI on this. That's what's so cool about it, because you're getting your tokens back after a year. You get those tokens back. So you basically got a device to use for 1 year. Let me blow myself up so people can understand this. For 1 year. And you can keep it longer than that. If you're doing good and you're traveling and you're doing good, you can keep it for longer 1 year. Originally, we thought we'd have to give it back after 1 year. Look, I'm not saying that if I get if I find some leprechaun at the end of a tree, at the end of a rainbow in 2 or 3 months, maybe if I can get through IRS season, tax season, without having to owe through my nose again, because I've been paying even more in taxes than I did last year. Maybe. Problem, my wife does not want that on her car. That's the problem, and I can't put it in my work vehicle. That's honestly, that's what's stopping me. There's a small. I'd like to sit there and say, and I might be talking smack, but if I had my own vehicle, not a work vehicle, not my wife's vehicle, not my daughter's vehicle, or my son's vehicle, and I actually have my own vehicle, I'd probably muster up my $2,500. I'd probably take it for, just to be honest with y'all, because I don't have $2,500 laying around. I got kids. I'd probably pull it from some different projects, if it's even worth it. If I had that kind of money laying around in different projects. I think this is like, I don't want to say, again, I'm gonna keep saying it's not financial advice, because you never know what happens tomorrow. Rover could just go bankrupt, and your token could be worth 0.00001, and you can't sell it because it's staked and all this stuff like that. You never know. You never know in crypto. But as a way it looks as now on December 15th at 10:04 p.m., when I'm making this video, this looks like a damn good deal if you can swing it. You have nothing to lose, because you get your tokens back after a year, and you're using their device, the wear and tear on their device, and you're making damn good rewards with it. $10 a day, depending on how much you drive. I think it's 16 tokens per kilometer, where you're making about 1 token per kilometer with the tarantula, like I got. It's not a good deal. Let me move on. All right. Spoke about ROVR enough. You'll know the deal with that. We'll discuss it some more in my live tomorrow, because it always comes up. It's a popular project a lot of people like. All right, moving on. Next is going to be at number 5, ENTROPY. ENTROPY, as Grumpy calls it. This one hurts, guys. Look, like, I was into this project seriously. I know some of it is out of, so out of their hands. Crypto's dropped, Solana's dropped. And I'm trying to balance between not hating a lot, still believe in the project somewhat. Hey, we knew it was a meme coin, but it just hurts that what we were, look, I know it was sustainable, like somebody said, but we were making $20, $30 a day at one point, $20 a day, $10 a day. You have people who are selling. They're getting booted, because that's why our tokens are going up every week on what we're receiving every day. At one time we were doing 17,000 and 17,400 and 700. Now we're at 17,900. So we're getting more tokens, but the price is still falling. These guys also can't win. And I'm not trying to take sides here or anything. There's a lot of things to go over with them. First, starting with, they implemented some time ago what they call a tithe tax. And for those of y'all who don't go to church, don't read the Bible or anything, some people don't know what a tithe is. It's basically where people tithe at church, and depending on what church you go to, they want 5% or 10% of your earnings from work and different things like that, and people tithe that to the church, kind of like a tithe tax. Well, I didn't agree with it, but you didn't really get the chance to vote on it. HQ did their own voting, but they started a tithe tax. Even though the miners eat first, the project itself doesn't really make anything off of you. So they did what's called a tithe tax. And I think it's like 12%, 13% of whatever your earnings are for the week goes into this pool. And that pool is used to do miscellaneous airdrops around different projects. to try to get attention into the Entropy project. Well, on Saturday, December 13th, during Solana Breakpoint in Abu Dhabi, Solflare will distribute 250,000 total prizes. Of that amount, $13,000 worth of Entropy came from our miners in the form of 500 million Entropy, with an additional $2,000 that came from HQ in the form of NFTs. So that was given out. Now, again, this is where I kind of split the middle here. There's two sides of camps here. Yeah, people who complain that this project ain't doing nothing else. They sold Astros, they sold NFTs, and now they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing for nobody. Don't do nothing for the project. They still do stuff for the project like this, and then people are complaining also. I've never been in the camp that said these Entropy people, HQ, whatever you want to call them, Professor Lambo, aren't doing anything for the project. I still believe they're passionate about the project. We know that they're going to all these different social things, pushing the project. They're doing this thing on X like every day, some kind of video, like it's a TV show with Entropy written all around it that you can go watch on X whenever you want. So they're doing a hell of a lot of marketing. Don't get me wrong. My issue just is that right now we are making 30 cents a day, $2 a month. I mean, $2 a week. You give out an airdrop, you know what's going to happen. People aren't passionate about the project. You think they're holding on to that? Now, what they're saying is they thought it was going to be given to more widespread people, more people, which means less amounts going to each person. And if an individual sold, it wouldn't hurt us as bad. But that's not what happened. It was only given out to like 20 or 30 people. And what happens then is that when people sell, it hurts. And it hurt yesterday. We had a huge drop when this started. It just dropped this token some more. You know, I don't know what else that we can say about it. Is some of this because of the Solana and crypto market? Absolutely. Can you really put this type of problem right here on the Entropy team? Well, this is not like a meme. This is not like a normal DePin project. A DePin project like Helium or supposedly WeatherXM, Geodnet, eventually Wingbits, where they're selling data. And then part of the whole tokenomics is they'll take a certain percentage of that, or those sales or those profits, and they will put it into liquidity of the token and then burn the token. You're not seeing that. They're not set up like that. They don't have a product that they can sell to make money on. Now, again, I'm not getting into all. Okay, listen, I get. I'm telling you right now, I get DM'd. I don't want to say 3 times a week, maybe twice a week, by different people accusing Entropy of different things, and I don't pay no mind to it, because depending on who you listen to, they got justification for all of it, and I don't like spreading FUD. A lot of projects have FUD about them, and I don't even mention them on here, because unless you can show me something tangible that I can prove, I'm not saying that. Some people say that the team made money off the devices. I'm sure they did. We know they did. We know what those devices cost to manufacture. I don't know how that works as far as, some like Wingbits tells Hotfix, this is what I want. Y'all deal with everything. So y'all making 100% of the profits that are to be made. I'm assuming 100% of profits to Hotfix, and Wingbits has said they made nothing off their sales of their devices. It's one stand-up thing. With Entropy, and with a lot of other projects, you don't know what that return is, and you don't know what they're making off of that. What people have accused them of, what they've made off of NFTs and that kind of stuff like that. We know that they came up with some of their own money for the Solana that they originally backed into this pool. I don't really care for the way it went down either. Back when these devices were first, I think it was when devices were first being sold, the NFTs were being sold, or whatever it was, and this token was shooting up like it hadn't done in a long time. And then they go and take liquidity out of it and saying that they're replacing their Solana that came out of it or something like that, and wrecked the token price and killed all the momentum it had. You know, I don't know. What you gonna do now? This is kind of like what I talked about earlier. I had at this point last year, I had in one wallet more than I have. I have 3 ESP32 projects devices going on, and I have 4 Entropy Ashlers going on for this project. That's 7 instances I am mining on this. So that's 7 wallets. And easily a year ago in one wallet, I had more than what I had in 7 wallets right now. I can cringe and cry, but the problem is you couldn't sell back then because I still I believed in the project. And you don't want to be a snake. You don't want to sell. So what do you do now? Am I selling to get $20 and $30 out of these devices? And that's everybody's like, man, you need to sell and move on. Sell what? $20, $30? Why? Look, you know, I've tried not to use in my videos anymore the P word, you know, POOR, poor, because people just blast me for it. But times are tight. You know, I'm not some big YouTuber with a million subscribers where I'm making $100 a video. No, I make $1.20 a video, literally. So despite what some of y'all might think about YouTube or anything like that, my point, I know I keep saying over and over again, I'm sorry, but I have a kid in college that's still costing me money, even though he's on full scholarship. He's always needing something. My daughter's a senior. They always need something. There's always something going on. But even with that, I'm going to say $20 ain't worth it to sell. For what? You know, I don't know what these guys have planned next. I'm hoping that it'll be worthwhile, that I'm holding down my side of this and I'm not selling. I don't want to sell because I don't want to, if I'm not mistaken, you lose your NFT and you lose your Ashler, basically. So if you want to get back in the project, because I saw somebody make the comment the other day and that said, oh, you know what you can do? You know, you can just sell you know, your Ashler, and then you might get booted, but just buy it all again. Well, what sense does that make? Because there's no way right now, you know, I can tell you exactly, you know, this is what I got in Ashler. This is an Ashler that came in when everybody else is shipped also. Here's another one about the same thing. This is one I got late from somebody. My point is, if you're buying these Ashlers and you got them during the first drop, this is what came in the second drop. That's why the second Ashler drop, I made $40 so far. What am I doing with that? Even if I sell what I made in these other airdrops, I mean, in these other mining instances, this Ashler came in the second drop. I'm sorry, the first drop, first actual drop. I'm not buying another Ashler for this. I'm not buying another NFT for this. But that game plan doesn't make sense either. You know, this is my ESP32. Because I sold a lot of millions of Entropy NFTs, and look what that got me. You know, I got 2 extra NFTs that I should have sold when they were going for 3 and 4 Solana. And you know, what's the going rate right now? 0.3 Solana. If you instant sell, they've sold 5 in the last 24 hours. Top offer is 0.348 Solana. Total volume is 2.2 Solana. And you can see, if you look on the right, you see what the activity is and what they've been selling for. 0.429, 0.5 Solana. And 0.42 Solana right now is worth 53 bucks, 54 bucks for what these things were going for 3 and 4 Solana not too long ago. So here's another thing. I sat in, held mine because I wasn't ready to quite sell it yet. And look where I'm at now. If I would have, and again, do you sell now? Nobody's really buying them. You know, I have a snake left that at one time was worth over 4 Solana. And I'm trying to see if there's even a snake that has sold. Let's see, ape and a whale, and a whale, and the ape, and the whale, and the snake. Snake sold for 1.16. So is that about 130 bucks? There's another one for 1 Solana. Again, listen, would $100 help me out? Sure it would. But it's almost disgusting to know that what I could have sold it for back then. Do you just hold out hope that something happens and goes up? Like, I don't know. I know I'm rambling, and when I get rambling, these videos get too long, and I apologize. But I just don't know how I feel at this point. The one thing I will fall back on is this. I told, not just me, but the whole project told everybody, especially when the ashes were going for sale, they said, you're mining nothing. And they meant it. We didn't know how literal they meant it, but they meant it. This was a meme coin, a way to, you buy this little device and it memes, and it wasn't meant to make you all kinds of money. And I understand that. But if the fact was you weren't making some damn good money in the beginning, look, I'm not stupid. I mentioned it in my videos for Ashless. I know I'm rambling on. I'm gonna end with this. Look, we knew your tokens will be going down because of 2,000 Astros coming on board at some point. We knew that. We didn't expect the price to drop what it has dropped. Was it 80% maybe? 90%? I don't know. All right, so next in line is DIMO. DIMO, we're getting about 15 cents a day. There's really no news on DIMO at all. It really needs to be probably my section about, trying not to die. I don't know what is there left to say about DIMO. I will say we got about a 0.5 point or token increase per device. It's probably because more devices are going offline. People just don't care. I don't know. That's just me speculating. Tokens down 17% in the week. So it was at 0.018 last week, at 0.015. Again, when you look at this for the month, we're down 50% for the month. And for the year, we're down 94%, 93.7% to be precise. So, we thought we were struggling kind of back here, and I couldn't get an ROI. I've been pretty much given up any hope of doing ROI on the 5 devices. 2 are free, so that's 3 of them. So I've been in this project now, never taken a penny out of it, and I basically make 2 years since ordered. In 2 weeks, it'll be 2.5 weeks. It'll be the 2-year mark that I've been in this project. Now, did I ROI at one point? Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you. For literally just a couple of weeks this year, I was over the $290 mark for ROI on my devices. It lasted a couple of weeks and then came right back down. So right now, for total, out of 5 devices, I have $147 worth of DIMO in 2 years. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about that. I don't know what hope we have in this project. People are asking in Discord, like, is there any positive thing about this project? I feel bad right now. And the answer from DIMO is, or some people, oh, it will survive. Thanks. All right, that's all on DIMO. Honey game pawns, just run it. If you're running grass and you're running INTERP, you might as well just run that too. I will say, I have several devices running honey game and several devices running pawns. I'm still making probably about, I don't even want to say a quarter, a 16th of what I'm making with EarnApp. So yes, EarnApp came down on the rewards. That shows you how good the rewards were over the summer, because EarnApp cut rewards drastically. I'd say almost kind of drastically. and we're still doing quadruple what I'm doing honey gains and pawns. So I've been in pawns for probably 3 years now, and I've never made a withdrawal yet. I think I got $30. I did a withdrawal from EarnApp 2 days ago, and I got $30 already. 375 AI. I can say there's no new news at all about 375 AI in the Discord. You know, hey, they hit their TGE mainnet token price. While it is only down 5%, it's kind of a positive because, you know, it fell hard early in the week and came back up. A little bit, came back up, which is to me kind of a healthy thing. Where some of these tokens have fell and just keep on going. So, you know, there's that. There is some volume going through on some of the CXs. So, hey, it means people are messing with it. People are moving with it. You having about 2.3 million in volume right now. So, hey, keep running 375 AI. I'm running mine in the background. I think it's one of the easiest projects you can run. This along with CapturGO kind of go hand in hand. Just like when we talked about honey gain, EarnApp, and grass all kind of running on the same thing because they're all similar. 375 is just like CapturGO. You might as well run both of them. We're going to talk about CapturGO in a second. So Nubila, we're down to 6 cents a day. It hurts. Boys, it hurt. Not trying to cause FUD. I'm just telling y'all because I know I'm honest with y'all. This one probably hurts more than a lot of other projects, at least right now. Just because on our live last week, I think it was Tuesday on our live, we talked about Nubila for a while, and a lot of us are disappointed. We all expected better. We expected this to be better than WeatherXM. We expected this to do things a little differently, to last, and they have not. There's just some fishy things going on. Again, you look at the price. The price went from 0.0058 down to 0.49. It did have a price increase to 0.008. I don't know where this craziness came from because it went just kind of back on its level where it was supposed to be at. Only 420,000 in volume. It's down 70%. KCEX is got the most volume. Oh, y'all got me. I just wonder what's going on with this project. So what announcement is, by the time y'all see this video Tuesday morning, it's gonna be too late. But they posted there will be a Twitter AMA tonight, which was actually this morning for me. So I don't know if anybody checked in on that. Newbies, we're going to be on Twitter Space a lot to address the future of NB and walk through our current roadmap with clear updates on what's going on next and why. So if anybody can shed some light on what the hell happened with that, maybe y'all can be on my live tomorrow, or tonight actually, because y'all be watching this on Tuesday. So at 7 p.m. Central Time, we'll be alive, and maybe we'll discuss this if we can get any kind of updates on what the hell they talked about. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's just some shenanigans going on. People are asking me about the nodes. I don't know what's going on with nodes. I purchased a node with my own money. I have to keep saying that because I have people who make comments that you don't have nothing in Nubila. The hell I don't. While I got a Nubila for free because I wanted to try it out, the weather station itself, I also, just to show everybody that I did believe in this project, and I can call them wrong too, but I purchased a Nubila node out of my pocket, which was what, $300, and there's no news on that. We got rewards one time back in, I think it was October, and that was it. And I'm pissed off too about that. People keep asking them in the Discord what's going on with that, and they're like, well, we're not ready for nodes yet. Don't know. I don't know if there's a change in how this project's being ran, different management group or something, because it seems to be behind the scenes there's some kind of shake up going on. I don't know. Or they might have just been in it to sell us some devices. Part of me is pissed off at myself because, like I said before, the writing was on the wall and I refused to see it. A weather station that can't tell you if it's raining or not. A weather station that can't tell you what direction the wind is. Is it a weather station at all then? Who's going to rely on that kind of information and that kind of data stream from somebody who can't tell you if it's raining or not? We can't use it down here in the hurricane weather. We don't know if it's raining or not. Can't use it on the East Coast or West Coast because you don't know which way the wind's coming in. Maybe the signs are there and we refuse to see it. SkyX is going to be the same thing. There's no weather vane on it to tell you which direction the wind is. There's no way of telling you if it's raining or not, as far as I know. If it is, I apologize. But somebody asked me about if I wanted to get in SkyX and wanted a device. I told them no. No, I'm not doing no more weather stations. I got a WeatherXM device here that still I can't get online. When it works, temporarily working right now. It worked this morning in 29-degree weather. And, you know, and on the WeatherXM, at least I can see when the wind changed yesterday, when that front was coming through, we were in 70, 80-degree temperatures a while, 2 days ago. Yesterday, we had almost a 30-degree swing in just a couple of hours of weather. And you could see the wind change from, that direction's coming in, probably the south, the southwest, somewhere like that, southeast, switch over to the north. And that's how you knew that front was coming in. And then the temperature dropped. See, that's what the wind can do for you. But not with Nubila because there's no weather vane. Moving on. Speaking of WeatherXM. All right. I'm probably just, with everything being so bad, next week I'll probably just get rid of this battle for last place thing and just merge them all again. I do that every couple of weeks. WeatherXM is at 11 cents, which is actually making more with WeatherXM right now than you are with Nubila. Imagine that. We didn't see that coming. WeatherXM, my goodness, of all the projects we discussed today, is the only project so far in the green. And it's actually up 6.5% for the week. So it went from 5 cents up to 5.5 cents. Even at one point going all the way up to 6 cents. Hey, I'm not joking around. I'm happy. Maybe, you can keep in that kind of direction. You're still making 11 cents a day. Meaning it will only take you 2,727 days to ROI on this, or 7.4 years. 7.4 years. So when you do buy one, make sure you use Grumpy's code for your ROI 7.4 years. And again, if the token goes back up, then this number goes down. It might only take you 6 years to ROI on it. I think WeatherXM better do something. Moving on, next is going to be grass. Yeah. We're in the middle of our newest epoch 14. Yeah. The only thing I can keep saying over and over again is I've never seen a project that insists on running their car head on into a brick wall and then backing up and doing it again. Also, I do agree with some people. We're seeing a drop off in rewards compared to what we were doing before. They had an update somewhere around here, and you can see which way my rewards are going. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with it. But again, you can't critique the project at all. If you critique the project anywhere in the Discord, all the cheaters come out and think that if they defend this, they're going to get better rewards or something, or rewards sooner. But still, this project's going a year and 3 months now since its last reward, and that is utterly, stupidly ridiculous. And I really want to use the other R word because it sums up some of these people in this project, but that's Very bad word. I don't like using that word. So that's ridiculous. Natix. So Natix had about 10% drop off last week. It was at 0.000334, and it's at 0.00301. So really not that much. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the price action on this. $250,000 in volume, which is less than some of the other projects we looked at before. Most of it on KuCoin. So it's getting moved. They're still active in the Discord. I don't know what else is going to happen with Natix, but I mean, I'm still running it. Just to let everybody know, I still run it. I still put the phone on my dashboard, and I still run it. All right, moving on. Now you got Silencio. You know, depending on how many tokens you get per month. Again, what I get's gonna be different than you. What you can get gonna be different. Either way, it's about 5 cents a day. I've seen worse numbers also from people who don't have 400,000 raffle tickets. You know, able to get that they got only 100,000 or something like that, and they're getting less. That's sad. Silencio actually did have a small price increase, up 12.5%. So hey, that's a good thing. This is only the second project we saw in the green so far out of 13 projects so far, 14, 15 projects so far. So they will take it. They were at 5 zeros and a 9 before. They were up to actually 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros and a 9. I'm sorry. And then now they were up to 3 zeros and a 1, 2 at one point. And they've come down to 0.010. But hey, it's a positive. We like it. 157,000 in volume, so it's a lot less volume than our last two projects we looked at. And majority of theirs is also on KuCoin. So they're putting a lot of stock in their voice AI. I know they got people running it. People telling me they're running it. Not really affecting the price overall that much. It's down 23%. But hey, I own well over 1 million Silencio. So I'd love to see this actually worth something at some point, because I don't know if I could even cash it in. All my staking ends in about 15, 16 days. I was hoping to cash it in for at least a couple of $100, and that doesn't look like the game plan. I can tell right now, I'm not restaking it. It is what it is. If that's the end of the project for me, because technically I won't be staking, so I won't be getting rewards anymore, or the raffle tickets anymore, then so be it. I'm not doing the whole sound thing. I think they abandoned it myself. That's just me and my words. But, you know, unless you want to sit there and do the voice AI thing, which I've done occasionally just to see how it works. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. Two announcements I'll go over with Silencio is that there is a referral challenge. The top 4 referrers on voice AI, from now until December 16th, which means you got 1 day left. These are your rewards: $200, $150, $100, or $50. New 10x campaigns are live, and for these languages, if you want to go look at it again, go to your website dashboard or desktop. Silencio is raising the bar. Demand has now exceeded supply by 100x. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself. So they have some kind of stable coin stuff coming, stable coin payouts and different things like that. So I guess instead of you getting Silencio, you would be getting stable coin. Hey, at least you don't have to worry about it going down anymore. All right, moving on. Next is going to be Helium. You know, I was hoping Helium was hovering around that $2 mark. I was really hoping to sell a little bit of it to get my alt tokens that, you know, were dropping under the grumpy levels that I showed you at the beginning of this video. But, you know, of course, Helium still is not going to cooperate. Helium has seen, you know, despite what everybody wants to say about its making this comeback, it's come down 12%. It was actually a little bit higher than that. It came up to almost $2 early last week, which was last Tuesday, I think. And it has just slowly just went on down. So, basically it went from $2 down to $1.65, $1.66. I'm so sick of reading about all this positivity thing. I wonder if this should have been the price all along. We talk about all the time about the Helium devices, and every time they made one or sold one, they had to get a license for it, and that burned helium, and that's why the price was so high last year. Well, not last year, a couple of years back, $30, $40, whatever it was. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way we'll ever see that again. Something would have to drastically change, even though they drastically changed it before with IoT and with mobile and stuff like that. I don't know what else to say about this. I was hoping they get back up to $2 or $3 again. I'm sure it could. $5 might be a stretch. $10, not anytime soon. So, no announcements from Helium other than the usual cheerleaders saying that this and this and this is happening on X, and that should be great things for Helium. And I've been hearing that now for 2 years. All right, so we're moving on. Next is going to be testnet stuff. Wingbits. Wingbits has doled out their or issued out their rewards. I made that announcement last Thursday, and I got some also. I didn't really want to do it, but I got bills to pay. I got things going on. I also wanted to have a little bit on the side just in case I need to buy another SDR because SDRs fail. That's $45. Or I might need an antenna for some reason. I might want to swap an antenna out. Either way, I made my withdrawal. I got my USDC in my Phantom wallet, and it ain't there no more because I used it already. Again, it hurt because I was the first place token holder, number one miner. That's me. And I lost that with me doing my withdrawal. Hey, I'm hoping with 15 devices I can earn it back one day. Not anything in the world. I can still say there's nobody has earned more wings than Grumpy. And just remember that. Maybe I need that on the t-shirt or a hat. No, not really. No real news or announcements for them in their Discord. They do have some new roles and stuff like that for early OGs and first 10% of the miners or something like that. But listen, I know this video is getting really long and I'm sorry, but it's just, one thing I want to say is there are people who are giving Wingbits flack over their recent distribution that they did. Look, nobody had to take it. It has nothing to do with the token. It's not tied to the token. It's not saying that that's what the token is going to be worth or anything like that. We just went over several of these projects that went to TGE probably a little too early than they were set up and stable for or ready for, and you've seen what's happened to their price. It is a straight straight slide down. And Wingbits is trying to prevent that. Now, Wingbits has also acknowledged that, hey, we can't just sit here and wait. We can't just sit here and wait for the whole crypto market to start going back up, so then we can turn around and then go TGE and try to catch on the way up, because we never know when that's going to happen. And they said that clearly that that's not what they're waiting for. But I'm sure part of it is just making sure that they are ready to help sustain the token, that they have the right amount of income, the right amount of customers, that they can do their whole buying and burning of tokens and whatever else they're going to do. But you've heard them say over and over in their AMAs that they are concerned about us. I want to make sure that we're successful, that we're happy, that they take care of us. But, we all know that that's not going to be for everybody. Somebody like me who has 15 devices, I got a feeling I'm going to be happy. But the person that's out there that's in the middle of New York or Germany, Los Angeles, that has one station, the antenna is still inside, or the antenna might be, you know, under the gutters, maybe even with the gutters. So you're still missing, you're still hitting the peak of your house and stuff like that. You're going to be on here slamming this project when it goes TGA. And that's what my worry is, because my mouth's going to get me in trouble. Because we've said all along about how you need height, you need to have the ideal setups and everything like that. And we know people didn't do it. We have people in the Discord saying what they're making in wings, and it's very low. And if you kind of go off my price estimate, I'm hoping it's worth about a penny, maybe a penny and a half. It could go up from there, it could go down from there. But I think it's a good initial estimation, I would hope. And then when you look at what those people are making, if you're getting 30 wings a day, you're getting 3 cents a day. If you're grumpy and you're getting 2,000 wings a day, well, you're making $20 a day. If you're making somewhere around the average of $100 to 120 wings a day for a decent setup station, because you have a little bit of competition, but you did a good setup, you're making $1 a day, which puts you at number 3 on our list today. And who knows? By the way Chirp's going down, Wingbits might be number 2. Who knows? We'll have to see. I can tell you that I still have people buying those devices. Not as many as they used to be. A lot of people have the devices already, but there are devices being sold. I'd say probably once a week between either I have people buying them on HiFix. Somebody on HiFix that they bought an MGW310, which I'm very surprised, just because of the amount of time it's going to take for Geodnet to ROI, plus the fact that Geodnet has a halving coming in less than 6 months. 5.5 months, I think it is. June 1st, which it just irks my nerves that they do a yearly halving. It's stupid. But anyway, let's move on. It's getting late. Combinder, I don't know anything about going on with Combinder. I'm not going through the Telegram. Hopefully you get an email if something happens. I still got them going. I'm adding another crypto device somewhere this week, actually, and I'm adding a Combinder plug to it. Just going to keep rocking them. I can restart them when I need to, and I can just rock them and just take that chance. Reading a little bit, I do read about the Discord. It just seems like they're more worried about the peak contest. That's all the people who are in the project are worried about, is the peak contest. How about we worry about Combinder? I don't know. BrushO, look, I'm brushing my teeth twice a day. I don't know what's going on with it. I know they want TGE. Same thing I say every time. Hey, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making 200 BrushO tokens a day. I'm brushing twice a day. I find that sometimes it's kind of hard to get 95%. I guess I can't get 100 because I'm not pressing hard enough. But there's times where I was like hurting myself pressing to try to get the pressure up, and it still said I had weak pressure. So I gave up on that. So if I can make it 95 because I brush everywhere in my teeth and just don't get the 100 because of the pressure, so be it. But they don't have a Discord either. 4D Sky, unfortunately, my 4D Sky is right here. We've had some nasty weather over the last week. We're supposed to have a good week this week. Beautiful weekend, a little warm. It's supposed to be 80 degrees for Christmas. Is that disgusting or what? But what I will say is that it seems like this mic is just getting on top of me every time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. There's part of me that I have one device and I want to put it in the most worthwhile location, but I need a location where I can put 2 antennas, and that's what hinders me. Because if I just needed it for one antenna, that's an easy install. When you start having to come with 2 antennas, that makes it a little more difficult. You gotta go buy piping stuff to make a T or something like that. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. And I'm trying to find a place that has very good height, clear picture, that can see far out. And the problem is my Wingbit stations are taking up each one. And while I'm willing to give 4D Sky a chance, my Wingbits are my priority right now. So we're gonna get this up, even if I got to put it in my backyard temporarily just to get it up. Part of it also is It does have the 12 of wall power. I'll call it. It says 5-volt DC on that, but it's still got this round plug with a wall plug. So I'd have to figure out power too. I don't want to try PoE or anything like that with a splitter just yet until I get it set up. The only thing, the news I missed from 4D Sky, which this was actually from last Sunday, is in 4 days we have an enormous contract award announcement that I'm really dying to tell you. We'll discuss it in detail on the Christmas live stream, and there'll be a press release on the 10th of December. I see that they had this X. Why they couldn't put it in announcements, I don't know. But some of y'all can watch this and tell me what it is. CapturGO, we kind of talked about it. New project. I have a link to start and for y'all to hit below. It helps y'all out by getting started, gives y'all some points, helps out the channel also. I appreciate it, but gives y'all bonus parts to start out. And again, it runs in the background. Right now, it's for iPhones. They had a big announcement earlier last week on the 9th, where they have a major partnership for the future of mapping, and it's supposed to be the HERE network. But that's all I see so far as any kind of announcements. I know some of y'all are waiting to find out about the Android. I have not heard or seen anything about the Android yet. So, and we're now into Mastchain. Briefly talked about Mastchain the other day. We're in that now. Testing that project, very new. It used to be worldwide, I think AIS or something like that called. I will say that it took me a little bit to get the device online. It's one of those things where we couldn't get it online. It was online locally here. I could see ships and everything like that. However, and I could see the signal coming in on the Pi that I'm using. Actually, I'm using the old Lenovo computer running a Linux Ubuntu. And while we could see the signals coming through the computer, the dashboard from Mastchain told me I was offline. And as you can see, I have been online now for about 3 days total. This is not local time. The one thing I want to get across to y'all is when I tell y'all what kind of antenna I'm using, y'all going to fall backwards. This is a device I set up here at my house only to be temporarily while I got it online. Once I know it's working, I'm going to put it in this permanent location, which that will be disclosed tomorrow in my live, as long as I can get it set up. I was trying to get it set up today, didn't get it time. But I am getting, some of y'all keep asking about distances. And what I want to tell y'all is, without trying to give too much of where I live at, give that away. I am getting devices, and this is new. This is the first time I'm zooming in today. I am getting ships. Now, I'm gonna go look at the map and I'm getting ships way down here. This is Learn, Louisiana. Point Alahash, which is some phenomenal saltwater fishing down here. Go all up in these marshes and stuff like that. All up in here. This is Mardi Gras Pass, which cuts through. Anyway, so here we are in Point Alahash. And this is Lower Plaquemine, Bell Chase. So let's see what this distance is. And I'm gonna tell you, this has to be a very, very crazy high ship, because this is just getting 2 or 3 ships. So you're looking at 57 miles. 57 miles. And yeah, another one's about there, which is about 45 miles, right? Gloria Stall, I know it's off Phoenix. I'm familiar with it. There's Jesuit Bend. And then in the other direction, again, look, they have ships all full through here. So that tells me that this antenna is not getting out the best. You see how this looks right here? This should look like this all the way down here, down the river. This is New Orleans. What this is probably is very high cargo ships or something like that. Now I'm also getting it into the turn right here. I have a Wingbit station in this place. Y'all have seen me do videos from there before, from my buddy's building over here. But as you can see, this is the bridge right here, and we'll just see how far it is from my house to that bridge, which should be about 15 miles if I'm not mistaken. Right about here, 15 miles. So y'all wanted to see exactly what kind of distance we were getting with Mastchain. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're sitting down, let me tell you what kind of antenna I'm using for this. I'm using an old, for those of y'all who know anything about antennas or ham radio, a OCF HF antenna. That's about 10 feet off the ground at my house. One end might be about 20. It's kind of sloping. It's called a sloping dipole antenna. So it's a dipole antenna, not vertical. Dipole antenna that is made for about 7 megahertz up to about 27 megahertz. Nothing close to the VHF band where this is. Not even close. 10 feet to 20 feet off the ground. So the reason I bring that up is because for y'all who keep asking, I don't live on a coast. Can I do this? Hopefully this answers your question. Now, tomorrow, I don't know how live this is. I don't know how much it updates, if it's truly live, if it's, updates every minute, every 30 minutes, every hour. But, it says less than a minute ago. So you can see that only this is I track. I'm tracking these. You see my rewards, my stations. But now you can see, like, my hope is that when I get this station permanently up, I found a location for this. It fell in my lap. It wasn't planned. I don't know how long I'm going to have it, but it's going to boom. It's going to boom. I'm going to be getting ships into the Gulf of Mexico. If this is any indication, I'm pumped. I'm excited. And I hope Mastchain becomes something. It's when I tell y'all this is very new, this is just as new as like Combinder was when we got started into it. It's very, very new. Right now, they are assuring us that they are sticking with DIY devices, but they said that could change in the future. So if you have a DIY device, a Pi that you want to set up with this, with a SDR, the black SDR. The biggest thing right now is VHF antennas. I can't recommend one. I have not had to buy a marine VHF antenna in 20 years. The place I'm putting it tomorrow already has a VHF marine antenna installed. Far, far up in the air. And I'm pumped to see what this thing is going to do. Stay tuned for my live tonight. We're going to see what that's going to do. Y'all know I don't do anything half-ass, and this is going to be one. I was #1 in Wingbits, and I'm going to see if I can take #1 in Mastchain. Now, one thing I don't know about Mastchain is I'm trying to find out is, can we do multiple stations? But this is going to be kind of like Wingbits. Tomorrow, where I'm putting this device at, I'm capturing this whole south part of Louisiana. Not gonna lie to y'all. Is it worth me putting even another station up? I don't know. I got to ask them that. I'm already looking at putting one on the other side of the state where they got ships. You know me, I don't stop. I'm exhausted right now. I shot that deer last night. I've had about 3 hours of sleep last night. I had 3 hours of sleep the night before that because I left my house at 3 o'clock in the morning to go hunting. I'm running off caffeine right now. So I got to get this thing edited. It's midnight, and I still got to get this video edited, which is going to take another hour. then get it uploaded. Have to fix everything on YouTube, which is going to take another 30 minutes. So I got a long night ahead of me if I can stay awake. So no more rambling. Stay tuned for my live tonight so we can go over all this stuff with Mastchain and everything else. Whatever news we come up with. So thank you all for watching. See y'all next video.